You guys did not get to see my 5-minute countdown timer because I realized that my YouTube stream was not going. Unfortunately, a byproduct of me switching PCs this week. Let's turn this down. Testing. There you go. So, yeah, one of the things obviously I had to reload was the streaming software, and I thought that when I had it reloaded, everything seemed good. All my my configuration stuff was still there. It seems like that stuff is kept in your Twitch account or your XSplit account. But then I went to fire it up and turned it on to broadcast, and on the chat window I saw nothing coming up. It was not showing that it was streaming. And what it was is there's something called a stream key that has to be entered for YouTube when you set it up to stream, and that key did not transfer over when I logged back into XSplit. So I just had to go in there, stop the stream, put the key in, start the stream again, and I finally figured that out probably with about 5 seconds to go in the 5-minute countdown. So, all right, see a couple people popping in, thank goodness. All right, so it looks like we are working. As you can see, I'm using the chroma key setup again. Had a little bit more time to get it set up this time. I have the green screen behind me that you cannot even see, really, I don't think. I have it more taut, so the effect is even better. It's working out pretty good. I like it. So if you guys can hear me okay, please say something. I can hear myself just fine, but we need to make sure that you guys can hear me, especially considering this is new hardware. And I'll talk about that. I talked about that on my video that I posted today, but I'll talk about that some more here too. All the fun. I'm just looking at my statistics on the stream, see how it's doing. Watch my hardware monitor. So my GPU utilization is at about 25%, and I am streaming to Twitch and YouTube at the same time. Upload speed, wow. I'm surprised. So even with me streaming, well, I'm downloading the video, the YouTube playlist that you're watching right now, and I'm uploading to Twitch and YouTube at the same time, and it's only using it's fluctuating between 1 and 2 megabits of upload bandwidth, less than I thought. It's interesting to be able to monitor that real time. So yeah, the new PC seems to be working pretty well, and once I get my actual video card that's supposed to be in this new high-powered PC, it should work even better, so looking forward to it. All right, thank you, Andrew. Andrew says that he can hear me loud and clear. Perfect. Got my Yeti mic right up here, right off camera. Really like the audio quality in the Yeti mic. Like I mentioned in the last stream, or not the last stream, my 5,000 subscribers stream, I didn't realize I actually had the Yeti mic turned away from me. I have it set. You can set different settings on the Yeti mic. You can have it listen to everything around you. You can have it listen to front and the sides, or you can just have it listen in front, which is usually the best situation when you're going to be doing streaming or podcasting or whatever. So now I have it facing me, and the audio quality seemed quite good the last episode, so I'm happy about that. Turned out good. Hey Brett, how you doing, man? Brett, did you see I changed the tires on the back tires on my Ranger today? It went better than last week. So I guess I need to pull up my show notes as well. So what's going on with everybody? What's new and exciting? Let's see what we got going on here. Okay, got that. Did I see? I saw your comment where you said that that you thought I was a breath of fresh air. Well, that's a very nice comment. Thank you. I didn't see a comment regarding the X1 though. Maybe wait. I have my email turned off. Let me just look quickly. Let me look real quick. Oh, there we go. Yeah, you did make a comment, I see. You did it. Yes, I did it. And yeah, it wasn't quite as bad as I thought it might be. I did not have to boil the tires. Thank God, no tire boiling. And I got it on. It was funny though, like that little brief clip I have at the beginning where, because again, I was using lots of body weight and pressure to get it on, that I actually popped it down off of the magnets. And I wasn't even thinking, even though I knew that this is a possibility, when I got the tire back on and it got just within the proximity of all those magnets and it sucked it up like that. I mean, that was like a bear trap, man. I was not, even though I'm aware that that's what happens, I wasn't thinking about it, so it kind of took me off guard. But it definitely sounds better. I mean, I don't know if how far you got through the video, but it definitely sounds better to me. It just sounds like rubber hitting asphalt. It doesn't sound like vibrating flat tire sounds, which is the way it used to always be. So I think it definitely sounds better. So I'm happy about that. All right, we got a whole whopping 5 people in here right now. That's good. Of course, they didn't get the normal 5-minute warning that you normally get because of my technical difficulties. Let's see, I did that. All right, so I guess let me talk about my PC situation. Basically, last week I streamed on Saturday night. Yeah, Saturday night I streamed some, and then Sunday morning I went to turn on my computer. Well, I didn't go to turn on. Actually, I went to just stand in front of it. I actually had it running. It was at least running when I went to bed, and normally I just let it stay in sleep mode. And next morning I got up and I'm like, oh, the computer's turned off. Maybe I turned it off and I don't remember doing it. So I hit the button and it was dead. And you know, I've been in the PC business since 1992, so I have a pretty large PC repair background. And I did the normal troubleshooting steps. You know, I tried unplugging it, resetting it, verifying everything was connected correctly, and no, it did not come up. So I determined that it was probably just the power supply went out. You know, that is something that will happen. I had replaced the video card in that system not too long ago, a few months ago, and I thought maybe because that card had more significant power draw than the old card, that maybe that taxed the old power supply and led to it failing. So I thought, okay, well, cool, I'll just go get another power supply. I went to Best Buy. I picked up actually an upgraded power supply. The one that was in that system was a 500 watter, and I picked up a 750 watt power supply, 130 bucks. I'm like, okay, good, I'll be good to go. Took it home, installed it, and it was kind of a pain to get it in there. My old computer was an HP Envy, but I got it in there and hooked it up before I put the case on, though, because you always want to test it before you put it 100% back together. Obviously, that's something I've learned throughout the years. So I made the connections, powered it on, and it was still dead. I'm like, well, this can't be right. So I double and triple checked everything, hit it again, still dead. Then I even pulled the video card out just to rule that out, because even without a video card in there, you should get some lights, you should get a fan spinning or something like that. Nothing. It did nothing. So I determined that the system board might have, or more than likely, something on the system board failed. So I couldn't. It could take a long time to get a replacement system board. I don't know how much it would cost. It might be difficult to get the exact model that I needed. So I'm like, well, I can't be without a PC for a week or whatever. How long it would take me to get the part that I need. And you know, because the system was 4 years old at least, I'm like, oh, well, I guess I'm due for a new one anyway. So I went and got a new one, and that's what you're watching me on right now. I had an HP Envy. Now I have it's called an HP Omen Obelisk, which is basically a gaming machine. It has an i7 8700 processor. I have 32 gigs of RAM. I have a a terabyte SSD drive in there, really good specs. But the funny thing is it also comes with a very high-end NVIDIA RTX 2080 video card in there, which is supposed to be, you know, top of the line, you know, cutting edge. And wouldn't you know it, the damn card is defective. I don't do a lot of gaming, but like the main game I play is World of Warcraft, which by gaming standards has pretty low video requirements. But I noticed right away when I was playing the game, it was really acting weird. It was like locking up, kicking me out of the game, and I thought, okay, well maybe there's some weird settings going on. Maybe there's a driver issue. You know, who knows? Because it could literally be a million things. But no, lo and behold, it turned out that the actual card itself was bad. I later did some graphic card benchmarking programs, and as soon as you would start doing anything that utilized the card in a mild manner, it would just lock up. So I actually called HP, and they didn't give me a hassle. They're going to send me a new card. The gotcha is it's not going to be available until the end of March. They're back ordered. Maybe if you look up a NVIDIA RTX 2080 on the internet, problems, you will find a lot of problems that people have had with that card. So I don't really mind waiting, because what I did in the meantime is I took my card out of my old system and put it in my new system, and it's not nearly as good, but it works just fine, and that'll get me by. And I'm hoping that they have found whatever issues that they were having, hardware issues with these cards, and the batch that they've sent is better, I hope. But I won't know until the end of March. So, but of course, whenever you switch PCs, there's all kinds of you have to reload stuff, and luckily most of my data is I have most of my stuff in Dropbox. I was able to pull stuff directly off the old drives too, so it wasn't that hard to get my data back, but it is time consuming, because you have to reload a lot of software, you have to look up keys, and it took a lot of time. But I would say I'm probably about 90% there now at this point. I think I have almost everything that I need. So, okay, so there's my computer story. So Brett says, watch the digits. Magnets, no joke. Yeah, it's funny. Once that did happen, I remember. I think I watched. Guy's name is Sun. Well, he goes on Facebook by Sunny Wheels in the One Wheel group. He does all sorts of hardware repairs on One Wheels, and he actually has designed some accessories for One Wheels as well. But I remember he was changing the bearings, I think, on his One Wheel motor, and he pointed out how careful you have to be regarding those magnets. Because to get it to separate it, he had to use tons of force to separate it, and then when he was ready to put it back together, he made sure that there was nothing in the vicinity, because it snaps on like a bear trap. It really does. And if you weren't careful, you could really hurt yourself. And that was my bad for not really even thinking about that today. So Brett says, try to register the Dualtron as a moped. I don't think I can. By Florida law. Hi, baby. What's up? I think Katie's here. Yeah, I don't think I could even take it to DMV and it would qualify as a moped. I think they have certain motor characteristics in order for that to happen. They do have specific rules regarding golf carts down here, because you'll see a lot of golf cart conversions that have to be registered as vehicles, but I'm 90% sure that I would not be able to do that with a scooter. Hi, baby. What's up? You gonna sit down? Okay. Elsa's here. What's up? You can go say hi to Katie. Go ahead. It's okay. Go ahead. Okay, Andrew. Damn, 2080 is brand new. Yeah, Andrew. Like I said, if you go on Google and you search RTX 2080 problems, boy, you're going to see a long list of problems. The majority of them that I've seen seem to be related to overheating. I guess they were saying that there was some insufficient heat cooling on the card. I saw a video where they talked about the micron memory that's used is problematic. Because in my test, when it would lock up on me when I was doing those benchmark tests, the card wasn't even getting hot at that point. You know, it would be at in the 60 degrees Celsius, and it would still lock. So I'm not sure exactly what's wrong with it, but there is definitely something wrong with it. And that card, brand new, I think the card alone is like $800. Its big claim to fame is that it supports ray tracing, which is a new feature that some games are using. That gives like photorealistic results, more so than a lot of games already have, which is already pretty incredible. So down the road, it's supposed to be a pretty awesome thing, but right now, not so awesome. Elsa, please, honey, not now. Let's not squeak now. So yeah, Andrew, yeah, my 2080 is broken, but luckily I have a GTX 1060. It's an Asus GTX 1060 NVIDIA card in there right now, and it seems to be running things just fine. It runs WoW fine. Like I can run WoW at 100 FPS with this 1060. So yeah, it's doing fine. Oh, did I say I also updated the RAM? I doubled the RAM in the computer. It came with 16 gig. I put another 16 gig stick in there, so I have 32 gigs of RAM. So it's pretty beefy. All right, what do we got? Bushmaster. I don't know that I've seen you in the live stream before. Welcome. Bushmaster asks, what's your favorite EUC? Well, that question gets asked a lot. Really, it all depends. And it might sound like a cop-out answer, but it really is true. It all depends on what you're looking to do. The video I posted today is titled I don't know, what did I title it? It's basically the two funnest PEVs that I own. Now, it all depends what you define as fun. Some people find going really fast and pushing the limits is fun. Some people find like super long rides is fun, like Marty. But to me, as far as just the actual interaction and the riding experience, the One Wheel and the Gotway M10 III are the most fun wheels or devices that I own. So if you'd ask me what I think the most fun EUC is, I would say a Gotway M10 III. But now, as far as my favorite, yeah, the M10 III, obviously, because of its size, it has some limitations. It's not going to be a comfortable cruising wheel, which I like to do from time to time. Well, most of the time, actually. So yeah, it's as far as an all-around machine, the best all-around wheel that I currently own is the 18L. I've never ridden an M Super MSX. I did get to test the Ninebot 1Z10, but I prefer the 18L over the Z10 personally. And the MSX, I don't have an MSX, but as you see in the video playing right now, that's actually my M Super V3. I do have one of those. The motor and power plant is far inferior to what you have with today's MSXs, but I am familiar with the size and the profile, and I love that wheel. But currently my favorite wheel, I would say, is the 18L. Now, if I was just doing open road, fast, long range cruising, my Gotway Monster is untouchable in that sort of use. It is just fantastic in that scenario. So it really all depends what you want to do, what you're looking to do with an EUC. Brett says, I don't understand the hate by state governments against Dualtron type scooters for road use. They are so useful and roadworthy. Yeah, I don't know why that is. Like I know in Florida, at least, even the smaller scooters, the ones that have like 50cc motors and smaller, the ones that only go 35 to 45 miles an hour top speed, those are registered. Yeah, the electric scooters, no, they don't have any sort of definition for them yet.
That's a good point, though.
What?
Because my 50cc had to be registered.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think part of it has to do with it being a gas engine too.
Oh yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know.
What?
No, I'm talking to myself.
Oh.
I can't find my goggles, Cindy. I found these cheaper ones that we bought, but I can't find my good ones. I don't know where they are. I don't know where I put them. Okay, Cliff Woods says, "How you doing, Cliff?" His favorite EUC is the one he is on at the moment. Yeah, well, sort of. I don't play favorites really. Oh well, if you see this video, this is my good old Ninebot 1E Plus that I learned on, and I believe I am putting carbon fiber vinyl wrap on the back of the pedals in this video. That wheel is still around. Katie's boyfriend Daniel actually has it. Don't think he rides it very much, but I think they let like friends and stuff learn on it and stuff. But as far as I know, it's still working. I think the battery life is pretty shitty, but the wheel itself is still going, and it's pretty amazing because that thing took so much abuse. It's incredible. Those are really built like a tank, really. Okay, Brett agrees that the M10-3 is the holy grail. Yeah, it really is. Like today, I haven't ridden the M10-3 in a long time, probably a month and a half, maybe 2 months. And even though it was a little bit shaky when I first got on it, you know, within 5 minutes, I'm reversing, riding backwards. Not a big deal. There's just something about the physics of being so low to the ground, combined with a strong motor. It just makes it so maneuverable, and it's, you know, even if you lose your balance, you're back on balance in a fraction of a second. It does not take long at all. It's pretty amazing. Okay, so Cliff says most states have electric scooter laws that limit them to 20 miles an hour and still be unlicensed. Yeah, I've looked at the state definition of a motor vehicle in Florida, and 20 miles an hour is one of the stipulations. It does mention 2 wheels, so like an EUC would be kind of a gray area. And also even it was like very detailed. It was like something that can go more than 20 miles an hour with a rider 175 pounds or more, or something like that. It's kind of weird. But bottom line is, just luckily in my neck of the woods, no one has made us think about it yet. I'm just waiting for it to happen. You know, like I said, something will happen that will generate negative publicity, and that's going to be all it's going to take to, you know, get people to start focusing in on us. Unfortunately, it's the way it always goes. So I just try to be courteous and safe, and not draw too much attention to myself. Brett, I'll let Cindy know you said hi. She is back in the bedroom, I believe, watching Oscar prep, like the Oscar pre-shows or whatever. Cindy loves these award shows, you know, Oscars, Golden Globes, and I could care less. Oh. All right. Okay. I'm reviewing the chat here. I guess I should. Like I said, I am streaming this to Twitch as well, so I guess I should just.
Yeah, I kind of miss this person, that person, like all from my community.
Though I Twitch as well, so I guess I should. Just yeah, no one's.
Yeah, I kind of miss this person, that person, like all from my community.
No one is watching on Twitch right now. Though I Twitch as well, so I guess I should. Yeah, no one's.
Yeah, I kind of miss this person, that person, like all from my community.
Watching on Twitch right now. I'll put a message out there just in case. Okay. All right, guys. So I am caught up on chat. So let me review what I have in here for notes. I'll put a message out there. Okay. Yeah. One of the things I saw was. All right, guys. So the Crazy Nicola video. That looked like somebody Gotway just bought a new video editing program, and they put every special effect and sound effect that they could find into the video.
Gotway.
Now the problem is it's on Facebook, and in the past when I've tried to do this, it doesn't load. And they put every special effect and sound effect that they could find into the video. Now the problem is it's on Facebook, and in the past when I've tried to do this, it doesn't load. This might take a little bit of doing here, so let's freeze that. Special effects, sound effect that they could. I'm gonna have to actually log into Facebook for this to work. Now the problem is it's on Facebook, and in the past when I've tried to do this, it doesn't. This might take a little bit of doing here, so let's freeze that. Special effects, sound effect that they could. I'm gonna have to actually log into Facebook for this to work. Now the problem is it's on Facebook. Maybe. This might take a little bit of doing here. So okay, well, maybe not. Let's try to play this. You guys should be able to hear this. I'm gonna keep quiet so you can enjoy the awesomeness. Maybe. spot that they always use. Always use that. Particle dissolve coming up. Wow. I told you that was awesome. Wow. That's crazy. Yeah, I've never seen an EUC advertisement quite like that before. It kind of, I guess maybe the first Z10 videos were kind of that genre, but not nearly as over the top as that. Yeah, because I mean, wow, the Nicola's gonna, the Nicola has a lot to live up to. Let me tell you. All right, so TFU, the fat unicyclist, says I'm echoing with a 10-second delay. You probably were hearing because I had Twitch open. I apologize for that. Yeah, I should have muted that stream on Twitch. That's why you're hearing the delay. But I closed it, so I apologize for that. I did not think about that. Brett talks about, in reference to Cindy's love of the Oscars and award shows. What woman doesn't love award shows? My wife is the worst. They don't exist when those type shows are on. Yeah, well, it's good that I'm streaming and she's watching the show, I guess. Works out well. Yes, Barrels Charkley, sorry about the Twitch thing. I didn't mute the stream on Twitch. That's why it happened. Cliff says, I have an electric bike. I asked my local police if I needed to have a registration. They said if I kept it under 20 miles an hour, they had no problems with it. Okay, well that makes sense. Yeah. And, you know, I am technically probably going over 20 miles an hour quite often on my EUCs, but not significantly, and certainly not when it's unsafe to do so. You know, if I'm around people or obstacles or you know, pedestrians, whatever, I'm not going to be going fast. I'm always very conservative. Like today at the Greenway, there was tons and tons and tons of people there. You know, both walking and riding bikes, and every time I slowed way down when I was near them. So that's what you should do. 333NG. Ah, yes, that change that I made was directly because of your comment. What he's referring to is, if you're a subscriber, a lot of times you'll get like a well, especially shouldn't say that. If you're a subscriber with the notifications turned on for a channel, you will get an email as soon as that video is published. And what happens is with YouTube, when you upload a video, even though it's a 1080p video, in order to get it up there and available quickly, YouTube will make available a much lower resolution video, usually a 360p, which is like, you know, the resolution that things were using like 15 years ago. So what I did is, actually Marty saw that comment and he gave me the suggestion of a trick that I never really thought about, but you can schedule your video releases. So the video uploads, it processes, and then you go in and you say, okay, I don't want to publish it immediately, I want to publish it in an hour or whatever. And during that time period, the system is still processing, and then more than likely when it actually does publish, it will be published in a high resolution format instead of the crappy grainy format. So yeah, thanks for pointing that out to me. I never really thought about it, but it's not a big deal to release things that way, and I'll be trying to remember to do it that way in the future. So no problemo. Brett says, in regards to the Nikola commercial, that should have been for an MSX. Yeah, it is kind of crazy, huh? That riding through the ocean. I wonder if there's an outtake where he actually hits a wave and like dumps it, you know, dumps it face first in the ocean, because some of that water he was riding through was pretty high. He was going pretty fast, and all you have to do is hit something that would throw his balance off, and that could be a very wet ending for him. And I always wonder about, you know, when a company does that with their products, because I don't think any EUC manufacturer would say it's a good idea to ride an EUC through salt water. And if there's damage from doing such a thing, that they more than likely would not cover it. To show that kind of riding in an official advertisement for the company, that's kind of It's kind of weird. I've actually complained about One Wheel does the same thing. One Wheel is really, they have all kinds of ads where they show the One Wheels being used in wet environments. You know, ads that they put out themselves. Yet they do not cover the One Wheel for any sort of water damage whatsoever, and the One Wheel is really not as water resistant as you would think it is based on the advertisements that you see. I've heard of people just simply going through like a large puddle, and if they hit it the right way, the right speed, that's actually enough to splash water into the electronics box. Hey Elsa, I hear you. It's not sealed like it should be. I don't know what the reason is for that, but they are real sticklers about not covering for anything that they deem to be water damage. So, but my point is, I think it's interesting that Gotway decided to show the Nikola riding through the ocean, basically. Brett asks, "Is that Coogee Rolls?" No, that's not Coogee Rolls. I don't know who that was, but no, that's the Gotway guy. I like that rocky, steep area because I've seen them use a ton of their wheels there. I guess that's one of their testing grounds where they like to test their wheels. And I think it's always cool when they do that shot where they're going up that real steep hill, and they have to hit it quite fast to get up the hill in the first place. And then they usually kind of bounce at the top, and then it kind of does a little bit of a burnout when it gets to the top. I always think that's a cool thing, you know. And it looks like the Nikola can do that as well. I've seen the MSX do that. I'm trying to think if they did that with the MCM5 as well. They've done it with a couple of their wheels, I believe. Okay, what's this video playing here? Oh, wow. Okay, this is when I this must be my plasti dip. When I plasti dipped my One Wheel. I plasti dipped the outer ring orange, which has since been removed. But yeah, I thought that looked cool. 3G says, "Glad my moaning helped." Yes, it helped. I'm very open to feedback. I might not agree with all of it, but I certainly listen to all of it. So, and a lot of times I learn something or change something that was an easy change, and it's not a big deal. It's a win-win for everybody. All right, Cliff, in reference to our discussion with the legality of PEVs, he says, "I did have 2 cops stop me once when I was on my Segway Mini Pro. He stopped me because he wanted to know more about what I was riding." Okay, well, that's good. That's a good scenario. If you saw the video today, right at the end, when I was getting ready to leave the Greenway, someone had pulled up on, they pulled up and they were unloading their stuff, and one of the things they had was a Mini Pro, a white Mini Pro. But he actually had replaced the knee bar with a full-size handle, which I think I've seen pictures of before, but I never obviously saw it in real life. But you drive it like a regular Segway, just a small version of it, and he loves it. I guess he was from New York. He got it from moreformini.com, the same place I got the Monster tires for my Mini Pro, and yeah, he really likes it. The only thing is, I guess he said because of how big the handle is and the way it leans forward, that you have to turn off the auto balancing feature because it throws it off balance. But he said that there actually are counterweights that you can get for it. That's another thing that I think More for Mini just came out with, counterweights that you put down low that actually offset that big handle to make it auto balance properly. I mean, it still rides normally, but you can't just step off of it and have it stay upright because there's too much forward weight. But he loves his Mini Pro. Yeah, he's a big fan. Brett says, "How do you know for sure he or she is wearing a full face helmet?" Oh, you're talking about that video? The guy looked like he was built differently than Coogee. That's my reasoning. And also I've seen Coogee's full face helmet, and well, he could be wearing a different helmet, I guess. But that guy didn't look like he was built like Coogee. He looked like he was too short. I think Coogee's a little bit taller. But I could be wrong. It wouldn't be the first time. Clay, you just got back from hydrofoil kite surfing. Yeah, you left a comment this morning or something because it was windy. You were going kite surfing. Where'd you go? Around here? around Naples? Did you go up to Bonita, or where'd you go? It was definitely windy. Definitely windy enough to do it. If you saw my video clip, well, you probably didn't because you were kite surfing, but I had the one wheel out at the Greenway today. And I actually rode the longer but easier mulch trail. I actually rode it the whole way on the one wheel. It's the first time I've ever completed that path without having to step off, jump off, fall off. So that was quite the accomplishment for a novice like myself. Okay, so you were in Naples. Cool. Awesome. I'm surprised, like, where in Naples do you do it? Because I would imagine that, like, if, you know, the way Naples is a stickler about anything fun, I imagine you can't do it around the main beaches, right? Like, you can't do it around Delnor Wiggins or Vanderbilt Beach or any of the city beaches, or maybe you can. I don't know. I'm not sure. I would think you'd want to do that somewhere where there's not a lot of boats around, just in case. That's the one thing I wonder about kite surfing. Like say the wind is blowing you towards something. What do you use for brakes? How do you stop? Like if you have to abruptly stop, yeah, you just let go, I guess, and let the kite go, and you just drop off. Or yeah, I was wondering how you handle that situation. It sounds potentially dangerous. Wow, 41 minutes of streaming already? Really? Nice. Awesome. Okay, so let me look at my notes. I'm caught up in chat. Okay. Oh, okay. You might remember the last, I don't know if it was the 5,000 subscriber live stream or the official show 2 weeks ago. Someone had brought up about eWheels not selling the Z10s anymore. They took them off their site, and they're at least for now they are not selling them. And a couple people just said it was, you know, because of problems, warranty problems, and lack of response by Ninebot to Jason's needs as far as getting replacement parts. You know, because there's a lot of system boards that failed on them. And evidently they have a rather annoying problem of the batteries discharging more rapidly than you would think. And once they get to a certain point, they're not able to be recharged by just plugging them in. You have to actually crack the thing open and like manually charge each of the two batteries. That's really strange behavior. But anyways, Marty saw that, and he responded to me. I guess he has some information. I guess he heard it from Jason a while ago. So he said that that Jason hasn't been selling the Z10 for a couple of months. After the first couple of shipments he received, he ended it. There have been a fair amount of Z10s that arrive with a dead battery pack. Not really dead, but very inconvenient in that you have to open the wheel and charge the two battery packs separately to kickstart the system, like I described. The problem is that the Z10 is always drawing non-trivial amount of power even when off. Roughly 10% in a week. So that's part of the problem. Is it seems like there's something that's doing a parasitic draw on the wheel more than you would expect. So it loses its charge quicker than people would be expecting. So any wheel sitting in a warehouse for a couple of months will be dead. Okay, so that makes sense. So yeah, if they manufactured it, put a partial charge on it. And by the time it leaves the warehouse and gets delivered to a customer, it could be totally dead. And then they have to crack it and do that procedure to get it to revive itself. Marty continues. He says, "I'm not aware of system boards that are failing from working wheels. Apparently, there have been a lot of dead out-of-the-box failures. Meaning, I guess, you know, if it works." If it works from day one, you're probably good, but if it's dead out of the box, you're out of luck. So this is why Jason stopped selling them. Ninebot was not covering any of his repair costs and won't provide him spare parts. So his only option is he has to sacrifice a working Z10 to get parts. Well, that's insanity. That's crazy. Why would Ninebot not cover any? That's. I mean, it's sad to say, but they're going to deserve what they get, which is going to be a very bad reputation if they don't do something to correct this ASAP. Marty says he hopes that mine continues to work because it'll be a pain if I have a failure. I know a lot of people that have Z10s and they are all working. My sense is that if you receive a working Z10, it'll continue to work. And Marty still loves his Z10. I still see him running it quite often in his videos. So yeah, that's the further information that I got about the Z10 drama, and it is drama. All right. Okay, Clay is giving some more information about his kite surfing. He says that you can do it anywhere technically. However, his kite beach is 2nd Avenue North. Okay. So I assume maybe there's other kite surfers there, or maybe that's just your spot. That's good. Fat Unicyclist, in regards to the Z10, says that the latest info is the Z10 uses 1% per day when not in use. Okay. Yeah, that's significant. I mean, well, I don't have anything to compare that to. Like, what's an 18L use a day? What does an Super MSX use a day? I don't know. But I've never heard of any of those other wheels requiring you to disassemble them and charge the batteries independently to recover. That's the weird part. But there are some weird things about the charging system with the Z10s, because I remember that video that Marty had where he described he's used to when he's doing his high incline hill climbs, that he can use almost all of his juice climbing the hill, but he'll regen a ton of that going back down the hill. And the Z10, for some reason, when it's put in that situation, when it's regenerating power, and I'm sure he'll correct me at some point if I'm describing this wrong, but it only recharges one of the 2 batteries when it's in regen situation, which seems very, very strange. But the way he discovered that was like when the Z10 was showing a very minimal battery life gain at the end of going down a lot of declines, whereas other wheels had much more significant regen. So yeah, there are some strange things in the Z10 charging system for sure. 333NG. 333NGS, what version of Camtasia do I use? I have Camtasia 2018. 2018 will render at 60 frames per second. I'm not sure if that's something that, well, I mean, you're actually 2 versions behind if you have version 8, because they went from version 8 to version 9 to version 2018. So yeah, I'm not surprised that 2018 does not support 60 frames per second. Camtasia 2018 does for sure. It does not support 4K though, just FYI. But you can do 60 frames per second. And the way it works is, like when you load the media into Camtasia, it'll say, okay, I've detected this is a 60 frame per second media file. Do you want the entire project to be 60 frames per second? And you can say yes or no at that point, because it defaults to 30. I think you can probably change that default. But you do have the option to record in 60. What's that?
Do you need me?
Yeah, you can, sure.
I mean, can you quick?
Yeah. Absolutely. Cindy's going to give me a break. Now, you want to put on your goggles? I can hand them to you off screen.
Are you wearing them?
No, I'm not wearing them. Cindy's going to come in and give me a breather.
Give me a second. Hold on.
Katie's here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Thought so. Okay, let's see. So what am I doing? Yeah, wow, look how nice that Ninebot 1 looks with the orange cone. So these bright lights bother Cindy, so I have the ski goggles here. And she's going to try these.
I'm just going to cover my eyes.
Well, here.
No, I'm just going to cover my
No, that will help. It'll be funny, too.
It'll be funny
I'll make
that
it
I
the
can't
thumbnail.
see. Okay. Oh, I gotta be able to read. Man, these lights are so bright. Whoo! Hi! He wants me to wear the goggles, which they probably... Ooh! They don't help enough. Oh my goodness. Hi, Elsa. Anybody there? Elsa's under the desk. Go Air Force. Anybody paying attention? No? Am I supposed to be wearing a headset or something? Hi, Brett. How are you? You always say hi. I'm wearing a hat because these lights are insanely bright. And one of my symptoms with the MS has been this right eye. I feel like someone's stabbing me in the eye. But hello, everybody. Go Air Force. Hi, Rocky Top. Hey, Clay. When are we going to ride?
Rocky Top is Kimberly's husband, I believe.
Hi, Kimberly. Yeah, I never put the two together. Thank you for letting me know.
They told me. Oh, you're not wearing the goggles?
No, I got my hat on. I got my cool Air Force hat. My F-16. Kimberly. Hello. What have you been talking about?
Whatever.
Whatever. Your computer
I
crash?
talked about my computer crash.
That was bad. That was bad.
Talked about my changing tire. Oh, no, actually, I need to talk about that.
Well, okay. You know
Changing
what?
tires.
I'm going to say something.
Drinking Zima.
He's drinking his emo. So, I got 2 announcements for this year.
Are you going to say it?
Number 1, in October, I'm going to be in the same categories. Not same age, but I'm going to be 50 in October. But, still have to find... Oh my gosh, where's the opening before Duff got home? Oh.
What's that?
But Nailer, still have to find Deficenics by searching for Cindy's Mini Pro unboxing video where she opened the Mini Pro before he got home. He gave me permission to, so it's okay. I was so excited I could wait, and I still love the Mini Pros. Anyways, where am I looking here? I'm like reading over there. It's just the lights bothering me, so I'm sorry if I'm making anybody nauseous by moving so much. But I'm gonna be a grandma. On that note, you take over. I'm gonna be a grandma.
Okey-dokey. All right, thank you for the cameo appearance. How's the Oscars going?
Great.
Great?
Great.
Glad to hear it. All right, got the Zima. It wouldn't be a stream unless you have a Zima, right? All right. Okay, let me scroll back up here. We got some chats coming in. That's good. All right, so TFU says you opened a 420 watt hour KS14D after eight months, and it was still at 45%. Okay, well, that would be a significantly lower parasitic draw then, huh? So okay, well that's something to compare to. But again, at this point, I mean, like, how is Ninebot going to fix that? I mean, the best they can do is, you know, communication, I guess, so customers know that. Don't if you leave your wheel sitting in a closet all winter, when you pull it out, it's going to probably be dead. It's kind of a bummer. Brett says the Z10 uses 1% of the battery a day because the CCP is listening to you with a special chip. Oh yeah, they have the what's that company? That Chinese company that got busted for that? Is it Huawei, something like that? I have heard about that. That there's actually there's a chipset that was in like a bunch of servers, I guess, that potentially could be used for you know, stealing information and stuff. It's kind of shitty, kind of scary. And from what I understand, it's a widely deployed server. All right. Build with Nailer. Hey, how you doing, bud? Is this like the GoPro remote problems where they wouldn't work because the battery had discharged on the store shelf to a point below where the charging circuit was willing to charge it? I don't know. I'm not familiar with a GoPro remote problem. I do have one that I got with my GoPro 3, but I used it I think twice in my life. I just never found myself using it, so I'm not familiar with that problem. Build What Nailer says new Segway Mini Pros were also dead out of the box and needed new batteries because the factory one was too dead. Huh. I hadn't heard about that either. I have 2 Mini Pros. I did not experience that. Bought both of them from Amazon, and they are both still running. They're running well, although they don't get run very often. And those batteries, those last a long time. I mean, it can literally be a month or more in between using one of those things, and usually when I power them on, yeah, they might have dropped 1 bar out of 5. So yeah, the Mini Pros do not seem to have the same sort of issue that the E10 does. Okay, Clay says, regarding my question on how do you stop on a kiteboard? You slow down a kiteboard by depowering the kite or by changing the pressure of the board. So by changing the pressure of the board, you mean almost like slide stopping like you would with a snowboard? Maybe? Because I don't see how that would work, because if the wind is too strong, well, I don't know. I don't know enough about the controls. I just have visions of you holding onto the kiteboard and the kite, and you're trying to stop, and you get a gust of wind and you get yanked where you don't want to get yanked. But I guess you can always just let go. Although it might be hard. Have you ever had to like chase your kite, or does it immediately deflate as soon as it loses tension with the handle? Does it immediately just drop? Like there's no chance of it blowing away? I hope. I don't know. Okay. Build What Nailer says, still have to find deficit settings by searching for Cindy's Mini Pro? Why do you have to do that to find deficit settings? Are you a subscriber? It should be just in your subscription video feed. Let me open up a new YouTube window here and just type in deficit settings. I mean, at this point, it should come up. Okay, so I'm just going to go to the search box in oh, I see. Okay, yeah, so like even if you type deficit settings in there, what happens is, oh, okay, it assumes that you're looking for calisthenics, because right at the top of the search it says showing results for calisthenics, but then you have an option to search instead for deficit settings. And if you do that, it comes up immediately. So what's happening is YouTube thinks it's smarter than you and assumes that you just that'd be a hell of a typo to type in deficit settings instead of calisthenics, but yeah, that's what it's doing. Because when you actually search for deficit settings, it pops right up. And it pops up with almost 5,100 subscribers. Got another 100 since that last 5,000 video. Or the 5,000 subscriber video. Thank you again. Can you believe I have 1,207 videos on that channel? It's insane. It's really insane. So, okay. I'm still catching up on chat. Cliff asks, where's your red mega hat? I assume you mean MAGA hat, probably. For Cindy. No, Cindy... Cindy would not be wearing a MAGA hat, and neither would I. Brett says, you are still sexy. Sorry, Duff. Okay. Well, it's okay, Brett. I'm sure Cindy appreciates the compliment. Kimberly said, did I see that right? You had a wreck on your 18XL? Ooh, ouch. What, Kimberly, what happened? And I assume that you're not seriously hurt, but what happened? And what kind of shape is your 18XL in? Because you just got that thing. hopefully it's not damaged significantly. Hi, baby. Cliff Woods asks, "How are the new chicks doing?" Cliff is referring to our baby chicks. Well, they're not chicks anymore. They're coming up on 4 months old, I think. We integrated them with the adult hens. Was it last weekend or 2 weeks ago? I think it's 2 weeks. Yeah, I don't know. Time blurs together for me. It might be 2 weeks ago, but anyway, we've integrated them, and it's going well. They're still two distinct groups. You know, most of the time the adults will be hanging together, and the young chickens will be hanging together. But they'll forage together. They're all sleeping on the same perch at night. Although all the chicks are like, the baby ones are like all smashed together, and the big hens have all kinds of space. For some reason the little chicks are very happy to just like basically lay on top of each other when they're sleeping. I don't know why they do that, but they do that. But yeah, no, they're doing well. The rooster that we were concerned about, you know, we originally were going to get rid of the rooster because we didn't want the possibility of aggressiveness, or you know, just sometimes roosters can actually, you know, beat up the hens more or less. The rooster's been fine. He's, you know, you have to kind of hold your ground against a rooster and let him know who's boss, and he's never done anything aggressive towards me or Cindy. And it's funny, like he's tried to like you know, act like he's big shit around the adult girls, the adult hens, and they put him in his place immediately. Like when we put him together, like within the first 30 seconds, he like, you know, puffed his chest out and tried to act tough, and one of the adult hens like jumped on his back and like pinned him down and was like, "Hey, don't screw around with me." So yeah, it's very funny. You know, pecking order is a real thing, and it's kind of funny watching it in action. So, but they're yeah, no, they're doing well. It's fun. They're very entertaining. They all have funny personalities, and you know, I enjoy everything about chickens except the worry of not being able to take care of them. Like ever since we got chickens, I've had real hang-ups about like going on extended vacations, just because it's hard to find someone that you trust, someone that can do it for you reliably. I have almost anxiety about leading the chickens, as stupid as that sounds. So that's really the only negative drawback, and well, of course, losing them. You know, we've lost a couple to predators. We've lost some to disease. You know, because we look at them as totally as pets, and you know, we've had at this point at least a half a dozen die, maybe 7, and yeah, it's very sad for us when that happens. So we do our best to keep them safe and give them a happy chicken life. Build With Nailer says, so the Z10 is just like the full-size Segways in that they are always trying to kill the battery when the owners store them. That is a problem with the full-size Segways, actually, yeah. Like I had one for 6 months. Some of you might remember that. I had a Segway X1 that had a dead battery, and I bought a used battery pack just to get by, and oh man, what did I spend for that thing? I think a used battery pack for that was like, what did I spend? $500 maybe? And like an official rebuilt one is like $1,200 or $1,400. I mean, the batteries on those things were ridiculous. And like you said, if you did not take care of making sure they're routinely charged, they would discharge and fail, and it's a very expensive lesson. Okay, what are we talking about here? Mini Pros. Build With Nailer says, look at Amazon's reviews of the newest sold Mini Pros. The new owners are mostly finding the Mini Pro will not charge and is dead on arrival. Oh, okay. Well, I haven't looked at the new Mini Pro reviews. Maybe they're using similar charging circuits, similar charging technology as the Z10, and they're having similar problems. It sounds like that kind of sucks. So wow. Cliff Woods talking about the Chinese spy chips. What's really scary is that some of the electronics in our military gear is made in China. Well, that's I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that we use that's made in China. You type okay. Again, we're talking about we're talking about Build with Nailer not being able to find Duff Extenix. You just type in Duffist. Oh yeah, what is that? Doofist. Yeah, I think you're better off just typing in Duff Extenix and then just clicking on the line that says no, I'm not looking for calisthenics, and you'll get right to it. Or just subscribe and go to your subscriptions column on the left-hand side. That's how I do it. I look at my subscription feed first, and then I look at the suggested videos. Barles Charkley just checked his Ninebot Z10. 3 weeks ago, it sounds like he charged it up and threw it into storage. It was at 100%, and in 3 weeks now, it's at 69%. So, yeah, definitely losing juice. I am curious where that draw is coming from, though. You know, what's using power? Okay, Kimberly, in regards to her 18XL crash, I looked behind me and lost control. Landed on my left knee. Ooh. Well, as long as the EUC is only scuffed up and hopefully your knee's not too bad. It's funny, in today's video when I was riding at the Greenway, part of my ride while I was on the one wheel is I went by the airport. And the Naples airport has a bunch of, you know, like small, mostly private jets that take off and land there. And I was riding on the pathway that's outside the grounds to the airport, and a very loud jet had taken off, and I'm looking up and I'm watching the jet, and I glance down and I'm basically falling off the pathway. It was curving, and I'm looking up, not paying attention to what I'm doing, and I went off and had to jump off. I didn't fall, luckily, but yeah, again, that was just a dumbass thing. Just it doesn't take long to you know, have something like that happen. And I can see, if you said you looked back, you looked behind you and lost control. I've seen, especially when I was less experienced, like looking over my shoulder and stuff, that would throw off my balance, especially if I did it quickly. So, yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm glad you're okay, and hopefully your wheel is okay. Generally speaking, the shells in the KingSong wheels are very, very good. I think they're much better quality than what you get in the Gotways. All right, so Bill Whitnailer, again, talking about the Mini Pros and the battery. His Mini is at 30% charge. Going to charge it now. Yeah, definitely should charge it, I guess. Your wife's Mini Pro is still at 80% like it was last month. Yeah, that's been my experience with our Mini Pros, our older Mini Pros, that they really will retain charge even if you don't touch them for a long time. All right, Clay, in reference to his kiteboarding. I've had to shake, because I asked, what do you do? Like, does a kite ever get away from you? I've had to chase down other people's kites before, but it should not happen. The kite rigging has a safety flagging system that allows you to fully depower the kite if things get nuts. Just trying, well, again, I don't know anything about the equipment. I'm just trying to think how that would work, because you would have to be able to like fold it so it couldn't catch wind, or maybe just like immediately releases tension on the sides. Maybe that's how it works. But yeah, it still doesn't make me want to kiteboard. Sorry. I'm sure it's a lot of fun. But yeah, just I don't know. Some things appeal to me and some things don't, and water sports in general don't appeal to me. I have ears that are very, very prone to getting ear infections, swimmer's ear, that kind of stuff. As a kid, I got that all the time, and it's very, very painful. And the ocean is even worse. You know, I can get it sometimes just going in a pool, but the ocean with all the organic material in there really can do a number on my ears. So I generally stay away. Kimberly says, tell Cindy being a grandmother is great. Yeah, she's very excited about it. I don't have any kids of my own. It's kind of weird for me. I don't know if I'd be viewed upon as a step grandfather. I don't know. I guess I don't know. It's kind of weird. Build with Nailer. We're talking about chickens. The neighbors' chickens were great in that they would get in our barn and tear up the manure looking for bugs, and they cut down the flies in the barn. Yeah, chickens are real good for that kind of stuff. We used to have the chickens. We used to let them free range the entire yard, like the whole back of my property. I have a 4-foot fence around it, and they used to have access to everything. And we just again, that was just my thought process that hey, I want the chickens to have a good life. And they loved it, but they're also very destructive. I can't tell you how many things that I changed around the house to accommodate for the chickens' destructive behavior. They love to dig things up. They love to dig holes. Chickens like to give themselves dirt baths, so that they will sit there and they'll just keep scratching at a spot until it becomes bare dirt, and then they'll like lay on their sides and they throw dirt in their feathers, and they just love it. And it's a way that they control mites actually naturally. But I'd have these holes all over the property, and then they would go into the landscaped areas, and they would like kick all the mulch out, scratching, looking for whatever. They would destroy those areas. I actually went around and I put a double high wall of castle stone around the one area, and I ripped out all the regular mulch and I put rubber mulch in there, just to try to minimize the mess that the chickens would make. But it was an uphill battle. There was a no win situation there for me. So finally, I guess it's probably 2 years now at this point, I built a secondary fence around the chicken coop itself. They still have a big area, compared to what most chickens have. It's a mansion, but they're confined to that space. So they don't have the freedom that they once did, but I think they still have it pretty good. And we have several covered areas back there because chickens like to be out of sight during the day. Keeps them safe from predators and stuff. So we have 2 or 3 different areas that they can hide in during the day. So yeah, I think they're content. But chickens can be a lot of work, for sure. Brett says I should look up 6-pack. I don't know. I'm scared. If you mean on YouTube, yeah, who knows what you'll get. Build What Nailer says neighbors' chickens would free range the neighborhood acreages. Yeah, they will. They will. There's an area close to us called Immokalee, and they have a lot of wild chickens there, and they will just roam. They'll be walking the streets, and at night they like roost in trees. They don't have a proper coop. They just roost in a tree, and I don't know. I guess that works in some situations. But our hens, their coop is actually a shed that we bought. It's a storage shed that we converted into a coop, and it has an automatic door that closes at night, so they're nice and secure. We have hardware cloth around the run, hardware cloth on the roof. We have hardware cloth buried because some predators are good diggers, and they will actually try to dig underneath and tunnel under and come up. So yeah, we really put the time in to try to make our coop as secure as we could, because it happened after we originally had 3 chickens in what they call a chicken tractor. There was a company called Urban Chicken Tractors, which was based out of Florida. I think they're out of business now, and we had them in something like that, and we actually wound up losing them. They got slaughtered by a raccoon. I figured out how to open up the side door. It just had a spinning arm on the side door. It wasn't latched like it should have been. Raccoon figured out how to open up that side door. The door dropped. He went in, killed the chickens, and yeah, after that, it made me made me really harden my chicken housing from there on. I felt terrible. I felt guilty. All right, Bill Whitnailer says the mini pros that were dead from Amazon were old ones like ours, but on the store shelf too long. Makes sense. All right, so let me see here. Oh, it's after 9 already. Okay. Let me look at my notes. What else have I got on here? Okay, this is something that I stole from Ian. I caught some of Ian's live stream this week, and one of the things he talked about was these glasses, heads-up display glasses called Eversight Raptors. If you watch his live stream, you probably saw it. Now, if you saw the whole live stream, let me see if I can bring this up here. I thought it was kind of cool. So, you know, they just kind of look like sort of like regular cycling glasses, and this is primarily designated for cyclists, but I could see it for EUC riders, scooter riders, one-wheel riders, whatever. It has a heads-up display that gives you real-time information about all kinds of things, including speed, obviously. It can tie into Strava. It can connect to your phone. It can take a video. It can take pictures, and the video can have an overlay of the speed information or whatever information you're tracking on it. That can all be incorporated into the video as an overlay. Has audio, so like I said, you can take a phone call with it. They actually have a, I don't know if this will work. This is like a demo of sort of what you see as you're riding. Like in this situation, you're just tracking your real-time speed, your total ride distance, beats per minute in watts. I guess you'd have to be wearing a heart monitor for that, but yeah. I could see that being a very cool thing to incorporate into my riding. Of course, the gotcha is, well, how expensive is that? Let's see, how did I get out of this? Whoops. I might just have to kill it. There we go. It's expensive. It's a lot of tech. Let's go back in here. It is expensive. If you go to the buy now link, you'll see $649 to $699. Very, very pricey for sunglasses. But obviously it does a lot more than sunglasses. You can get both the smoked lens and a clear lens, like if you want to use them for nighttime riding. There's a little, what do you use this for? A controller. I'm not sure exactly what you would need that for. If you had EUC, I don't think you would want that, but for a scooter you could use it, I guess. But yeah, $650 to $700 for smart sunglasses. I don't know. It's something I'm thinking about. I actually reached out to them and said, hey, you know, I have a YouTube channel. I do a lot of personal electric vehicle reviews and rides and stuff, and I didn't know if you'd have any interest in me demoing these glasses, because I think that they could potentially be attractive to this community. So I sent them a message on Facebook, and I got a response saying, well, thanks for contacting us. We'll forward this to the people that would make that decision, and we'll get back to you. So that'd be kind of cool. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money for something like that, but I think it'd be kind of cool to have that real-time information. I know when I'm riding my EUCs or something, you know, unless I have my wrist-mounted GPS, it's kind of a pain. It'd be awesome to have that information in front of me at all times, readily available, and to be able to shoot video at the same time. So some cool tech. And you know, my hope would be that something like this I think it only came out recently, so there's a good chance that it could drop in price over time. So just thought it was kind of interesting. Let's do that and do that. Okay. Brett says, I'm the six-pack Duff, the guy looking for your videos compliment. Oh, okay. I got you. Clay says, just going to break them the next time you hit a piece of metal in the road. Oh, the glasses? I don't know. I mean, when you read the specs, you know, supposedly they're durable. Because, you know, when you're biking, there's always the opportunity for that. I don't know how durable, but yeah, of course, that's a possibility. But I do my best to try to avoid metal in the road, believe it or not. Build with Nailer says, starting to blend real life with data displays, like with VR exercise bikes. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't know. I just think it would be kind of cool to be able to just get that information whenever you want it. I think it kind of works like, I don't know how many of you are familiar with DJI goggles, but like the side of those glasses, there's like a touchpad that you can like swipe and hit buttons to change what you're seeing. So it looks like a pretty slick setup. Pretty cool. Clay says I should get a trace tracker. It's a heads-up display, but on your GoPro footage. Oh, you mean just like an overlay with like speed and stuff? I actually played with that a long time ago. You know, where it like overlays a like a GPS map, shows you on the map, shows your real-time speed. I did that. I don't even remember what program I used. It was just kind of a pain though. Yeah, trace tracker goes somewhere else. Yeah, that's some sort of food site. Let's say. Oh, trace up. Okay, I put the wrong site in. Let's see what this is. Effortless soccer game filming and video clip editing for every player. What? I don't know, Clay. This talks about soccer. It specifically talks about soccer. Trace up. Yeah, maybe it's a different site. I'm not sure. Yeah, what the heck? What? Let me just make sure I didn't type it wrong. Traceup.com. Yeah, it talks about soccer. And the pricing is not $150 to $200. I don't know. I think that website might be wrong, Clay. Yeah, those glasses do look cool. I don't know. I said there's two things that I'm interested in as far as my PEV hobby. One is a Leaf Tech board, which I think that will be my next electric vehicle that I'd like to try. And the other thing are those glasses. I think they would be a cool addition to my stuff. So we'll see what happens first. I guess it depends how EUC stand sales go, because I kind of use that as some of my extra cash to buy things like that. And I do still have a pretty decent stock on there. I got some guy bought 3 of them today in one order, but I still have a decent selection on the store. Build What Nailer says, I think my Fitbit or Apple Watch will give me enough information on speed and distance while traveling. No, it does. It absolutely does. Like I use Strava, on my phone, and I do have an Apple Watch that I haven't really incorporated into my riding at all, but I have an Apple Watch that you could get that information probably as well, but it's not the same as having a heads-up display. Okay, I'm geeky. Trace tracker surf. What is that? Why would it be used for surfing? I don't get it. Trace for surfing. Oh, okay. Oh, this is something like they talk about that you could use for kiteboarding. I don't know. I'm not sure. Well, it probably, what does it do? It probably like overlays GPS data, right? I assume you have to have some sort of GPS device on you while you're riding. And yeah, because like I said, I did something similar. I only did it once or twice because it was kind of a pain in the ass to do, and you kind of had to have the entire video clip in there with no editing. You just like one continuous shot. I don't know. I just found it more hassle than it was worth. It was cool to see for like the first 5 minutes, but then I'm like, it wasn't worth it to me. All right. Okay. Another thing on my list, U-Stride. Some of you might be familiar with the U-Stride channel on YouTube. It's a guy, I believe he lives in New York City. Someone had pointed out to me how he did a review on the 18L, and it was kind of a confusing review because a lot of the stuff that he said was positive, but then at the end he sort of put a negative spin on things, saying that he didn't think the wheel was, I guess, powerful enough for him, which was, it was confusing. But then I guess there was also some question of if that wheel, it was someone else's 18L that he was riding, but there was some question of if it was in the right mode, if it was in the gimped mode, that it was tilting him back early or something. So I'm kind of fuzzy on that myself, but I don't know if any of you have seen this. Let me see if I can get it up here. But I watched most of the video, and yeah, it seems like he does a good job. I don't think I had ever heard of him before. Oops. That's, man, being in front of these LED lights, it does a number on your eyes after a while. Okay, this guy. This is U-Stride.
Now, today I may have the opportunity to check out a new wheel. Why a new wheel? Well, okay, so basically I love my Tesla, like, right? I've had it for 6 months.
The wheel itself.
Monster.
Awesome.
I almost crashed on that one too.
He was riding around,
but I think it's the app settings. But the wheel feels great. The tire is awesome. It's very comfortable.
Like I said, at the end, when
if you're a beginner, highly recommend it.
Up in an aggressive fashion up an incline, it notices that I'm going like on an incline in an aggressive way, and it literally tilts me. The tilt was brutal, man. And when I say brutal, I mean in the sense.
He says how he's a he's an aggressive rider, and he just didn't feel like the 18L had enough juice for him. I guess he was riding with a guy that had a Monster, and he was saying how the guy in the Monster would seem to be able to pull away from him. So I just wonder if there was something off in the way that 18L was configured, because speed and power wise, it really is right up there with the MSX. It doesn't have the same top end speed, but as far as acceleration goes, it's like 1 and 1A. It should not be that much of a difference, but he seemed to feel like there was a very, very noticeable difference between the 18L and his other wheels. Like, I think he even said like his Inmotion V5F felt like it was more had more power or more acceleration, which I'm like, huh, what the hell? I mean, I had a V5F, and it's nothing like the 18L, so kind of weird. Okay, Rocky Top says use riders now. Okay, yeah, that is another point too that I saw someone brought up, was that I guess his wheel is the wheel he owns is a Tesla, a 16-inch Gotway Tesla, and the smaller diameter wheels are always going to be more torquey. The Tesla motor is a 2,000 watt motor. The 18L is a 2,000 watt motor, but it's a 18-inch wheel versus a 16-inch wheel. So yeah, something smaller is always going to if it's identical wattage, it's going to have more torque. That's just physics. And Rocky Top says, yeah, you don't hear any of the beeps. Yeah, so he wasn't hitting the speed limiting, so I don't know what was going on. I don't know. But it's the first review that I saw where they complained about the power. That wheel went to all the guys in New York City. It went to me. Went to Chooch, who's a very aggressive rider. He had nothing but great things to say about the wheel. Went to Marty. Went to the guys in San Francisco. They all loved it. So I just have to think that there was something weird in that wheel he was using. Either configured wrong, some sort of problem. I don't know. Fat Unicyclist agrees. Okay, so that was the last thing I had on my notes, but I did want to mention my experience in the last 2 weeks of replacing tires on my my Ranger X1 and how much fun that was. Again, I don't know who has and has not seen it, but the Ranger X1 has solid rubber tires, and the tires that it's shipped with have something going on with them that make them incredibly loud when they're on a flat surface, like a sidewalk, asphalt. It almost sounded like it had a flat tire, like a flat spot, and it did it from day one. It was very, very annoying. I heard it reported all over the place. Lots and lots of people had the same problem. I think every single initial owner of an X1 had bad tires, bad noisy tires, I should say. So finally, Backfire came up with a different compound tire, and I contacted their tech support, and they sent me 2 tires at first, and I replaced the tires in the front, and then I noticed that it sounded better, and I said, hey, can I have another 2? And they sent me the other 2 this week, and I put them on today. And if you watch that video, you'll see that, as is often the case for me, doing anything with tires is a huge pain in the ass. Especially last week, not ever having done it before, I really struggled getting those tires on and off. Doing the back tires today, even though it was the hub motors, it was not as bad. I was able to kind of learn from my mistakes, learn from some of the information that I got from some of the commenters and people that have done it before, and it went better today. And I was really happy to see that it actually did make that noise much better. Now it just sounds like a solid rubber wheel hitting asphalt. It doesn't sound like it has a flat spot anymore. So I was kind of happy about that, and it was another good learning experience. Oh wow, look at that's the hobby room right there. Look at how it looked back then. Wow, what a difference! Holy cow! That was before I was into 3D printing, and I only had a couple wheels. Wow, what a difference. So anyways, yeah, that was fun, changing rubber on Ranger X1. Trying to think what else. Oh, I did a video yesterday about the Ultron Ultra. One of the things, I covered like the range and running out of battery a couple times, and the speed of the Ultron Ultra. But I also wanted to talk about some of the cool simple things that it surprisingly it does that the more expensive Dualtron does not. And most notably, the telescoping handlebars in the front is kind of nice, especially when I added the seat onto it yesterday. It made it much more comfortable to be in seated position, being able to drop those handlebars into a more natural position. Sometimes on the Dualtron, you feel like you're kind of riding like this, because you cannot adjust the handlebars on a Dualtron. At least not my EX, you cannot. And also the way that the Ultron folds up, it's a little more compact than what the Dualtron is when it's folded up. And it's very easy. It's nice that the way the handlebars just there's a quick release coupler. You just snap it out and fold them down. For the actual handlebar itself, there's a foot pedal. You just kick that, lock it down into place, and you can just lift it up with one hand. You have to have a good grip. In the video I showed that the Ultra does weigh 85 pounds, so it is a little hefty, but it's cool. You know, I after some of my initial troubles I had with lack of information and just some of the weird quirks, I've kind of settled in on the viewpoint that for the money, it really is not a bad deal as far as bang for your buck. You know, it's not fancy. It's not built as well as a Dualtron is, obviously, but man, it's fast. It has some nice features, and it is relatively easy to transport if need be. So I'm pretty happy with the purchase. And my guy in Singapore has said that a few people have reached out to him, so I'm not sure if they've translated into sales yet or not, or if they're still in the investigative process. But yeah, it's a fun wheel, or it's a fun scooter. Cliff says, I remember, Cliff, you told me that you have a lot of tire experience. I used to work in a tire shop. We just use soapy water to lube tires. Yeah, I've noticed when I tried to fight with the Mini Pro tire, well, actually, a couple tires I've tried to do that with. I've tried soapy water, and I think I've had too much water and not enough soap, because when I would put it on, you know, I lube it up good, and by the time I got to the point where the soap was, it had evaporated and dried up. So I don't know what the proper mixture is of soap to water, but I don't think that I had it. But I don't know if you saw the video today, Cliff. You'd probably laugh at my technique on changing the Ranger tires, but I got it done. One way or the other, I got it done. That's the way things normally go for me. Let's see, what else? Oh, I don't know, guys. Oh, I wanted to show these. I think I talked about this in the last stream. These are my new EUC Army stickers that I am sending out with all my orders. Just got these in. I got these in since the last live stream, so something new. Just updated that. Trying to think what else is in the pipeline. I don't know. I think that's it. Like I said, I have my green screen going up today. It's up right now. But it's funny. I actually discovered that there's a way that you can do green screen effect without a green screen. It's done totally through software. It's a tool that XSplit has. It's let's see, what's it called? It's called XSplit VCam. It's kind of interesting. I'm gonna try to do this real quick. You're gonna see me disappear, but you should still be able to hear me. But I'm gonna disappear for a second. Okay, I'm gone, but you should be able to hear me. But now I'm going to fire up XSplit VCam. And there I am. Alright, there I am with a pretty background behind me. I can, like I said, this is all software based. I can, if I have something I want to just like slightly blur in the background, I want to blur it out. it makes it yeah, it's like a 10% blur, just to give you a different effect. You can put your own photos behind there, or you can just, they have a bunch of stock photos that you can use. So let's do scooters. Alright, so I want to have a cool scooter picture behind me. Let's apply that. Alright, now I got a scooter behind me. But I have a blur, so let me get the blur out so it should clear up. There you go. So yeah, this is total software. It works really well. The only thing I've noticed is there's a little bit of artifacting, but it's really hard to see. It's neat. And the advantage is obviously that you can get a green screen effect without having to set up a green screen and do all the bells and whistles for it. Let me just see one of the other effects here. I can strip it totally, remove the background. Okay. And that's just doing a normal green screen effect. But again, this is just using the software, nothing else. But I kind of like replacing it. Let's replace it with something cool though. Yeah, like there's Cindy at Christmas time standing on an EUC. Why you guys would care about this, I don't know. Probably don't. I'm showing you anyways though. So yeah, something cool. Okay, so we're going to make this disappear. We're going to remove that. Should still be able to hear me. And we're going to go back to a normal webcam. Oh wait, hold on. Exit. There we go. Here I am. Oh, except you see. Don't want that. We want that. There we go. That was the magic. That's, you can see what the green screen looks like. That's what it looks like. So okay, guys. Let's see what else we got here. Anything? Cliff says, hopefully I will not change any more tires for a long time. Yes, I cannot think of a scenario where I would change a tire except on the one wheel. A very common upgrade on the one wheel is to change the stock slick tire with a treaded tire. And I've seen some videos of guys doing that have fought mightily to, how do I get this? That have fought mightily to replace the tire. There we go. Replace the tire on their one wheel. It can be quite challenging, and because it's such a big tire, I don't know. That's something that I'm thinking about doing in the future, but not anytime soon. So okay, guys, if you guys have anything else you want to throw in there, now's the time to do it. Otherwise, I'm going to start winding things down. I need to go to work tomorrow, unfortunately. Earn a living. Lots of fun. And I'll make sure to make get the podcast version of this up correctly this time. The show from 2 weeks ago, there were some differences in the way that I processed it, and it wound up getting uploaded in the wrong format. And people were saying that they couldn't download. Well, actually, one guy was saying couldn't download it on his iPhone, and I thought it was something that he was doing wrong, and it was actually something that I did. So I did fix that up, and I will make sure that that does not happen in the future. You know, I'm doing something to my M Super right there. Not sure what. Cliff says next time we go to Napa and get some tire lube. I actually have stuff that I bought on Amazon. Actually, I didn't even think about it really. Well, like in the scenario like today, doing the back tires, the hub motors of the Ranger, there's no way that I probably shouldn't use anything because the motor assembly is right there underneath the hub cover. So I don't think it would be safe to use tire loop or anything that could drop into that motor assembly. But for the front wheels, yeah, I definitely could have done that, I guess. Thanks, Brett. I appreciate it. All right, guys. Well, I hope everyone has a good week. I appreciate you stopping in. Feel free to leave your comments on the video or anywhere. Send me an email on any of my videos, whatever. I'm always happy to get feedback from you guys. I appreciate you hanging in there with me through my hardware difficulties at the beginning of the stream. And I'll see you guys back here. Let's see, what's 2 weeks? 4th, 3rd. That would be March 10th. As long as there's no other issues, should be March 10th. Although you never know, that I might just pop a stream up sooner or later. If you do enjoy this format, I would suggest that you not only are a subscriber, but hit that notification bell. You will get notified whenever a video or a live stream happens. So that's one way to make sure that happens. So anyways, hope you guys have a great week. Thanks for stopping in. I think I said that before. And until next time, Duffman out.